Two men were having a conversation in a home decor store. And one of the guys said, "Why don't you just be with her?" And the guy responded, "I can't afford to be with her if my wife is not splitting the bills down the middle with me." He said that she would not even look in his direction if he wasn't paying all of her bills. He also said that she was everything that his wife was not: sexy, seductive, and very soft spoken. This is the reason why some creators say that women should avoid being in situations where they are splitting the bills with a man. I'm sure that every woman that overheard that conversation was enlightened. I attended a book club meeting, and there was a young lady there that was talking about how her grandfather stopped her from being in a bill sharing relationship because she was about to move in with her boyfriend and they were going to split the bills down the middle. And her grandfather told her that that was not a wise thing to do, because he said in his time, men had to marry a woman and they also had to provide for a woman if they wanted to live with her. He said the reason why men don't value women these days is because women have made themselves very convenient to men. And moving in with a man and sharing bills with him is how you make yourself convenient to a man. You are providing him with things that if you weren't making yourself convenient to him, or any other woman was not going to make herself convenient to him, you're providing him with things that he would have to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars for if he wanted them. You providing a man with your time, your attention, your companionship, giving him exclusivity, giving him sexual gratification. Those are all things that if a man wanted those things, if women were not making themselves convenient to them, to men, they would have to pay for those things. So you're going to live with someone, provide them with those things, and then every month they're going to ask you for half of the bills. Even if you weren't going to split the bills with him, even if you were doing any other percentage, that is a horrible arrangement to place yourself in. You are that is the definition of being used. Her grandfather went on to say that because she told him that they love each other, they're in love, and he said, "Well, it's definitely not about love with men, because if you were to remove sexual gratification from the equation, he would see his way to the nearest exit. He wouldn't be interested in being with you without that being in the equation. So that tells you, if a man wouldn't be with you without sexual gratification being in the equation, then he does not love you. He lusts you. There's a difference between love and lust. And most men wouldn't be with a woman if sexual gratification is not in the equation, which tells you that those men lust the woman. If he were living with any of his male friends, he would be splitting the bills with them and not getting any of the things that you're going to offer to him. Men used to value and appreciate those things that a woman have to offer him. These days, men don't appreciate those things anymore because women are very convenient. They move in with a man before the man shows them any appreciation for anything. Just for their time, they're not even showing appreciation. Men get upset with women these days just because they took her on a few dates and she's not sharing her body with them. Men don't value women anymore. That's what he told her. And you placing yourself in a position where you'll be paying a man to lay with you is not smart. I spoke with another lady who was saying that she was in a 50-50 relationship and she knew she was being cheated on, but she didn't care. She didn't care because whenever he was out with the other woman, she felt like she was getting a break from him. She said, I would put the children to bed, grab my snacks, sit in front of the television and watch a good movie or two. I don't care because I know that men are always in the running when it comes to those type of women. They're always competing against other men. And those women are going to go, you end up with the person, if they end up with anyone, end up with the one who can provide them with the most. And she said that she knew her husband was not financially capable of doing the most for those type of women. So she didn't care that he was cheating on her. She said whenever he was out, she just did her own thing. She doesn't care. She's glad to go 50-50, and she's glad to have that time to herself when he's not around. She said the key to being in a 50-50 relationship with someone that you know is cheating on you is to make sure that you always use protection when you sleep with them, and you'll be fine. She said that she has not ever had any sexual sessions with her husband without protection. She always used protection from day one because she already knew that he was a cheater. She just didn't care. And because she didn't care, she accepts it just the way that it is. She doesn't care that he cheats. So some women are in those situations with a man that they know is cheating on them, but they don't care. And she's not even looking to replace him. Another lady that I had interacted with, she said that she's been in quite a few different relationships and she just found them to be so draining. She said, I don't even care if a man is paying all of my bills. She wouldn't care because she said, that being in relationships, even when the man was paying all the bills, all of her bills, she's been in relationships where she did the 50-50 relationship, the 70-30, the 80-20, the 90-10, 100% of the bills. And she said that she always was unhappy because the men were always creating worrisome situations for her where they would claim that they were at work, working late hours, putting in more hours, and it always put her in the frame of mind where she would wonder who they were with, what they were bringing back home to her as far as sexually transmitted diseases and sexually transmitted infections. She said that just put a dent in her peace of mind. And she got to a point where she just got fed up with it. She said, I don't care if a man is paying all my bills. I am just done. I don't want anything to do with men anymore because they bring too much worry, too much stress, too much depression. And she said every relationship that she was in, she always suspected that they weren't being faithful to her. And she got to a point where she was like, I don't want to have to worry about if someone is being faithful to me. And I certainly don't want to worry about what they're bringing back to me after being with other women. I don't want that worry on my mind. So she said ever since she's been single, she has had so much more peace of mind. She said that she has been peacefully single for going on 8 years, and she is glad that she made the decision to just be peacefully single. She can pour all of that time that she would be pouring into a relationship back into herself. She doesn't have to have anyone on her schedule. She doesn't have to have anyone occupying her availability. She doesn't have to share her bed with anyone. And she said because of that, she is in a more peaceful headspace, not having to worry about those things. And so now, even if someone were to come along and want to be good to her, she wouldn't be open to it because she has given up on putting herself into relationships with anyone because she has lost trust. She doesn't trust anyone with her heart, and she doesn't want to share her time with anyone. And she looks great. She was showing me photos of when she was in relationships, how stressed she was. She said one of the most stressful relationships that she was in the bill sharing relationships, because not only did she have to worry about bills and maintaining a job, she also had to worry about the man, in addition to worrying about bills and a job. And that kind of relationship took a toll on her because she had gained an excess amount of weight. She was losing her hair. She was having issues with her skin. She said that all of that just piled up on her and took a toll on her mental and emotional well-being because it was too much on her schedule. She had the job on her schedule, she had the man on her schedule. She felt like she was servicing the job plus a relationship. And that was what was taking away her peace of mind, having so much on her schedule. And even when she said, even when she was in a relationship where the man was paying 100% of her bills, that was the easier relationship of all the relationships that she was in. But she said that her peace of mind was still compromised in that relationship just because the man, she felt like he was not being faithful to her. And she said that when they would sleep together, she, since being with him and being intimate with the man that was paying all of her bills, she said that she developed a lot of issues with her vaginal health, like BV, yeast infections, and things like that. And she, before being with him, she didn't have any of those issues. So she knew that it had to be him. And she just had to end it because she said that having those issues was draining, to have to always go to the doctor and get checked up and constantly worrying about, could I contract something more serious than just STIs? She stayed in a worried frame of mind. And once she set herself free from all of that, she's like, I felt like a burden was lifted off my shoulders, and I could get back to me. And now she's of the frame of mind, not my man, not my problem. I don't have to worry about a man and what he's doing and what he's not doing. I don't have to answer to anyone. I am better off putting that time into myself and not having to worry about having someone on my schedule and someone that wants me to provide them with cooking services, cleaning services, sexual gratification services, spending time with them, cuddling with them, having them humping on my leg in the middle of the night. She doesn't want to have to worry about any of that. And she doesn't have to worry about it anymore because she has been peacefully single for 8 years and she's happy about that. So when you think about relationships, always say to yourself, what would my son want for me? If you had a son, what would he want for you? If it were possible for men to choose their fathers, they would not ever choose the worst option for you. They would always choose the best option for you. And this is why you, as a woman, should never feel bad about wanting the best. Because if you had a son and he could pick his father, he would always pick the best option for you. Some men dislike it when women want better, but they would always choose better for their mother. So just think about that. When you're thinking about selecting someone, think about what your unborn son would want for you. Think about what he would want for a father. And it's not going to be